Lights, camera, action indeed, T-Lopes. Welcome back, fellow Lovanions, finally to more Sonic Mania. In the last episode, which aired like about a month or so ago, we ended off with Chemical Plant. Now, we're starting one of the brand new original zones for this game, and that is Studiopolis. Not Studiopolis, but Studiopolis. Yeah, it was this along with Green Hill. They were among one of the first stages that we saw. Yeah, and Studiopolis as a whole, I quite like it. It's pretty original. I do like the idea of Sonic traversing through a giant movie studio. And I especially like the music. Of course, my remix is better, but still. You gotta give credit to T-Lopes once again for composing in a fantastic soundtrack. Okay, so I guess I have a few things to explain, briefly. First off, if you're just coming from part 2, you may notice that my score and live count are noticeably different. Well, between recording sessions, I decided that, recording on the PS4 Pro was proven to be more trouble than it's worth, because oftentimes, oh yeah, here I'm pointing out the detail on the stage, but yeah, anyways. And also, I should mention this is, again, post-commentary, like the Undertale hard mode video and the Sonic 2 HD showcase video. I'm recording this in post because apparently I am bad when it comes to recording live commentary for Sonic games. But yeah, seriously. Yeah, when it comes to commentating over a game like this where, there's a lot of stuff happening at once, it's hard to come up with, what to say, like, every second. And yeah, fun fact, that is actually T-Lopes saying lights, camera, action in the song. So yeah, to continue on my little tangent, I am now recording this off of the PC version, and this was the version that I initially wanted to do this playthrough on before getting the PS4 version, but I got the console version anyway after finding out that the PC version was getting delayed, and that kind of sucked because I pre-ordered the PC version like a month in advance. And now I'm hearing gardeners outside. I don't know if that's gonna pick up on my audio, but stuff happens. You can't really stop it anyway. So yeah, my score and live count are a little different. I decided to keep the Chaos Emerald count the same. So we ended off on at least 2 Chaos Emeralds last time. So like a few minutes ago, I got the 3rd Chaos Emerald. And now we're going for our 4th. Yeah, and I have to say, like, the more I play these special stages, the more I get used to them. Like, after a few runs. It took a while to get used to the first time, but yeah. I guess I should also mention right now, since it's been about a month since I done some recording on this game, I have beaten the game already. only once with Sonic and Tails on the PS4 version. Like, on my other PS4 that I have. And I guess that was purely for practice. Because even though I have played some classic Sonic titles in the past, I still need to, like, practice for this game. Because again, this was my first time playing through. Oh yeah, and if you also couldn't tell, I'm playing this with one of the filters that you can enable. So you can see like little scalings on the screen. I actually do like... well, there's a couple of options for this. But I forget what the exact names are in particular, but... yeah, I decided to make this, you know, somewhat unique. And I should also mention, since I'm recording this in post, I decided to make a little rule for myself. Because, if you're coming from parts 1 and 2, you probably noticed that I show off these special stages more than the newer ones. So I made up a little rule, is that for at least once every zone, not every act. I was thinking about doing it once every act, but then I realized that might have made the video a little too long. I believe this part alone is like just over half an hour long. So yeah, at least once every new zone, I'm gonna be showing off the Sonic 3 and Knuckles styled special stages. And as always, I'm gonna try and get perfects for almost every special stage. And since I am gonna be showing off only a few more stages, I'm not gonna be getting all the medals. And if you're... yeah, and I screwed up right there, so I think even then, I think I fail here in like a couple of seconds. I just give up entirely. Yeah, there's no way to salvage this. Yeah, because if you get a pattern like that, then it might as well be over at that point. But anyways, now we're at the boss of Act 1 of Studiopolis, and this one, playing through it a couple of times is pretty simple in concept. Because, you're not actually fighting the boss itself. Rather, it's shooting projectiles at you like those missiles. And you're just trying to hit the blue missiles specifically at the egg robos at his sides. So you gotta avoid these red missiles here. One gripe that I do have is that since you're moving along this path, it's kind of, I don't know, something about the momentum when you jump can sometimes carry you backwards. So if you jump over a red missile and you jump, sometimes you can be carried backward and you can get hit easily. So right here, like that. Like, I didn't get hit there, but I was just demonstrating how you can avoid the red missiles. And we got him on his last legs. Again, look for the blue missile. The easiest way to hit the blue missile is I just roll into it. You can jump on it as well. And that's about it. Luckily, they give you rings along the way. So you shouldn't worry too much about dying, but Just don't get too overzealous or too hasty. Even if you get hit, then that doesn't mean you can go into rage mode. I guess you can call it. And that's the end of Act 1. Oh, and I like this transition right here. How you can see classic Eggman on the giant TVs there. Again, the pixel art, they did a very great job. Shout out to the animators and the artists that worked on this game. Oh, and I like the Act 2 mix of Studiopolis. Very fast-paced. Yeah, in the beginning of Act 2 of Studiopolis, I find a little weird because you're not really so much going fast, but you're doing like lots of platforming. And you're bouncing on like these red balls on springs. Oh, right here you got the sort of lottery machine. And every time I enter this machine, I always get at least one Eggman ball, which causes you to lose rings. So that's unlucky. And I like those teleporter pipes as well. They make you go fast as well. Lock on. I do like all the Easter eggs that they applied here. Like the lock-on technology. There's also another one that references like an old slogan back in the 90s for Sega. It's like, Sega does what Nintendo don't. That's always been my favorite. Here we go with the 5th special stage. I think on my first playthrough, this gave me some trouble. What I always like to do is, because here, I guess I'll explain how this works, but basically, the rings act as your time. The more rings you get, the more time that you get. But you also have to focus on getting to that UFO, which has the Chaos Emerald. You want to gain enough speed, and the only way to gain enough speed is by collecting the blue orbs. So what kind of helps me is that you try and figure out the UFO's path, I guess you can call it. Like, you gotta memorize where it goes and try and follow it. And of course, you gotta always prioritize the collecting the orbs and rings. And you don't want to get hit too much, because if you lose too many rings, then you're gonna run out of time faster. That one can be tricky. I'll say that much. You know, and I guess spoiler alert, I do manage to get all the Chaos Emeralds in this part. I think the fastest you can get all 7 Chaos Emeralds, I think can... It can either be either Chemical Plant or this zone. But I don't get them all here in the next zone. Yeah, and I avoid that special stage intentionally. So I guess, like I mentioned earlier, is that the most common complaint people have about this game is that there's not enough original zones. And yeah, I can sort of agree with people on that. It's like, you know, maybe there's too many classic zones for this game's own good. But at the very least, they changed up like some of the level design to make it somewhat different, but it feels familiar. If that makes sense. Yeah, and I still have a fun time. Like, even if this game is filled with some nostalgia. As long as you go fast like this, then that makes for a good Sonic game. If Sonic doesn't go fast, then I guess what type of character would he be? This boss is kind of strange. You see Eggman is like in this, I don't know what you would call it. It's probably like some sort of weather satellite. And you see on the TV what the weather is going to be like. And of course, if you have either Supersonic, oh yeah, I guess that's a spoiler, but if you have Supersonic or the Bubble Shield, then this boss is a piece of cake. Oh yeah, and I should point out, if you listen closely to the TV, and you hear that buzzing sound, and if you look at those numbers on the screen there, then that's kind of a reference to the Sonic 25th anniversary party, which was a very stable stream, by the way. I think someone archived it somewhere on YouTube. You can watch it there. But no, seriously, that stream had a lot of problems. Yeah, and they put the buzz in there. If you listen closely. But I didn't stay there for too long. Alright, so now we're in Flying Battery, a zone from Sonic and Knuckles. This is a good stage that they brought back as well. I like the music and the level design. Yeah, some level design in the beginning is familiar, but later on they switch up the experience. So if you think this is a simple copy and paste job, then I guess think again. I can't really imagine if like they did something like that, then that'd be pretty lazy. So it's a good thing that they did that then. And the fire shield is your best friend, because there's a lot of flamethrowers like that throughout the stage. Yeah, and this special... Okay, hold on. Just a sec. Remember to drink water. Yeah, this special stage is from Sonic and Knuckles. And what I always like doing is getting these blue spheres in the cluster first. And then I get these like four paired blue spheres by running through them like this. And I believe I do succeed in here. And I guess I should say right now, unfortunately, getting the gold medals doesn't really matter. So I've heard getting the medals does unlock you some content. Like you can unlock the multiplayer or the competition mode and some other fancy stuff. That oddly enough doesn't apply to the regular save mode. You have to go into no save mode. And you can fool around with some cheats. Yeah, I think as far as commentating over this now, it is really easy to commentate over this now rather than doing it live. Because before I was too immersed with playing this game before. But now I can just concentrate on talking. Because believe it or not, it is nerve-wracking. Yeah, and these fans here. You don't want to touch the blades, obviously. Otherwise, you will get hurt. I don't think timing really matters here, but I think for most of them, I time it as if I want to go in a specific direction. Like, the timing when I want to let go. Oh yeah, and for some reason I was getting my spin dash ready, and then I realized, oh, I still have the lightning shield. And that's a new gimmick that they added here. Unlike in Sonic and Knuckles, you didn't get magnetized to the ceiling like this, and okay, that was a little glitch there. His model didn't change. You got those little mines on the ground. You don't want to stay there for too long, because they'll explode on you. They'll explode on you, and you'll get hurt. So you got to be aware of the things that will most likely get you hit. I always seem to get hurt there. Well, not there, but in a situation like that, like I get stuck in the pit, and there's no time to get out. It's always aggravating. We got, I guess you can call it foreshadowing with the blueprints on the wall there. Yeah, this Act 1 boss is different. Now we're in the trash heap from Star Wars. So basically, I guess you can call it an electromagnet. Magnet is conjuring up badniks from the trash, and basically you have to jump on the bagniks in order to hit the magnet thingy. I'll be surprised if there's any hidden boxes in here. Never really found one. Good thing that thing was there. Otherwise we would fall into a bottomless pit. Here we go with Act 2. Yeah, and they showed that off in some trailers. If you fall through the trash heap like that, which is another new gimmick for this stage, then you can find some hidden routes and perhaps hidden goodies, like special stages. And now we're going for our 6th Chaos Emerald. This one can be tricky as well if you're not careful. Yeah, and there'll be times when I'm trying to get ranked and it's basically a swing and a miss. I think the more I play through these new special stages, I've grown to like them. They probably surpass Sonic 3's special stages as my favorite. I never really liked the half pipe from Sonic 2, and that's been that's been done to death in almost every Sonic game up to this point. Like, I remember Sonic Heroes had those type of special stages. And there were other ones that had those type of levels as well. So we only got one more to go. I do like that effect. Like, after you complete a special stage, they don't... the rings themselves don't disappear, they just become like a hologram. Yeah, we pretty much got the technology, might as well utilize it. Yeah, so we got those baddies right there. And they control those electric machines that'll zap us. But luckily, since we have the lightning shield now, then it won't be a problem for us. Oh man. I'm listening to this video on headphones and I can still hear that lawnmower outside. It's probably gonna bleed through the mic, most likely. I'm really hoping that's not too loud. It's going to be, I know it. But again, you can't really stop the outside world doing other stuff. I'm not really gonna go outside and yell at the gardener. It's like, hey, I'm trying to record a video here. Do you mind? Yeah, and so we got these moments where we go outside. I think for some reason I thought something was over there. It's been just over a few days since I recorded this footage. So I barely remember anything that's happened. A lot can happen in a week. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, this is where I find the 7th and final special stage, which, honestly, this is, pretty easy in comparison to 5 and 6. Because I think it's very possible to catch up to the UFO when going in just Mach 1. Yeah, so you don't want to stray too far off the path of the UFO. If you're too far away, then you might as well kiss that Chaos Emerald goodbye. Yeah, it's the red one. And we got it. Sonic got all Chaos Emeralds. And that means we get the true ending now. Not only that, now Sonic can be Super Sonic. AKA God Mode. And you can tell that I'm playing off the PC version. I believe the console ports, or console releases, have applied this update as well. But before, when you transform into Super Sonic, so basically, You have to collect at least 50 rings, and then you can transform into Supersonic. Which again is like essentially invincible God mode. But there will be no way to deactivate it unless you go into possibly a checkpoint special stage. Otherwise, you'd be stuck as Supersonic for like the rest of the level. Which, granted, isn't a bad thing because the Supersonic theme is actually pretty nice. It's not like a 10-second loop. It's like a full minute Supersonic theme. And we'll be able to listen to it once we transform, which I think most likely is going to be at the end boss, the Flying Battery. Yeah, I think out of all the zones in Sonic and Knuckles, this is probably my favorite. Oh, and I guess back to mentioning about the update for Supersonic. So now that they added an update to where there is a separate transformation button, because in order to transform, again, you have to collect at least 50 rings. And then you press the jump button twice in the air. But now, they applied a separate button for that, so that way if you're, say, using, I guess, all of the characters, like Sonic's drop dash or Tails' flight or Knuckles' glide, then the transformation wouldn't be by pure accident. So that was nice of them to add that in. Even though I think some fan hack already did that. And since I got hit, I just decided, you know what, screw it. I have enough rings. This is fair, clearly. So, transformation time. And there we go. I believe Supersonic can deal twice the amount of damage. So that reduces the number of hits the boss can take. I believe that's how it works. I think that applied to the old classic Sonic games. I don't know if it does here. But anyways, that is it for part 3 of Sonic Mania. So stay tuned for part 4 for more hedgehogs and more Tails. See you guys then.